امروز میخوایم با یه داستان کوتاه تمرین لیسنینگ و درک مطلب داشته باشیم. من اومدم یه داستان کوتاه رو به 3 قسمت تقسیم کردم و برای هر قسمت 3 تا سوال طرح کردم. ما اول 3 تا سوال رو میخونیم و بعد میریم و به اون قسمت از داستان گوش میکنیم و در پایان سعی میکنیم به اون 3 تا سوال جواب بدیم. بعد از اون 3 تا سوال من یه سوال 4م هم اضافه میکنم که از قبل نشنیدیم، فقط برای تمرین بیشتر. از اینجا به بعد ویدیو رو فقط میخوایم انگلیسی صحبت کنیم. پس اگه جایی دیدید که متوجه نشدید یا اینکه جا موندید، میتونید از پایین ویدیو زیرنویس انگلیسی یا زیرنویس فارسی رو فعال کنید. البته پیشنهاد میکنم اول یه بار بدون زیرنویس ویدیو رو ببینید که ببینید چقدرشون متوجه میشید. 3 questions that we have for the first part are: Where was Sarah coming from when she realized her key was missing? So, we know that Sarah was coming from somewhere and she realized she found out that her key was missing. Question number 2. Why did Sarah think her key might be at the park? So, what made her think that the key was at the park? And the third question, what unexpected item was attached to the key when Sarah found it? So, when she found her key, there was something attached to it, but she didn't expect it. She didn't think that that thing would be attached to her key. So, it was unexpected. She didn't expect it. Now, we'll go through the first part and try to answer the questions at the end. One rainy evening, Sarah walked home from the library. She carried a heavy bag of books and an old umbrella. Suddenly, she reached into her pocket and froze. Her house key was gone. Panic filled her heart. She checked her bag, her coat, even under her shoes, but it was nowhere. Sarah remembered she had stopped at the park to read for a while. Maybe I dropped it there, she thought. She hurried back. The park was dark and quiet, with only the sound of raindrops hitting the ground. She searched under the bench where she sat. Nothing. Just as she was about to give up, something shiny caught her eye near a tree. She ran over and picked it up. It was her key. Relief washed over her, but then she noticed something strange. A tiny note tied to it with a string. It said, "Follow the path." Curious, Sarah looked around. A narrow dirt path led into the trees. Should she follow it? Her heart raced with excitement and a little fear. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, wondering what adventure waited ahead. So, we're done with the first part. Now, let's answer the questions. Our first question was, where was Sarah coming from when she found out that her key was missing? She was walking home from the library. Question number 2. Why did Sarah think her key might be at the park? What made her think that? She remembered she had stopped at the park to read earlier. So, earlier in the day, She had stopped at the park to read. So she thought, maybe I have left my key at the park. And 3, what unexpected item was attached to the key when Sarah found it? So, if you remember, something unexpected was attached to the key. What was it? It was a tiny note, a tiny piece of paper with something written on it. What was written on it? It said, follow the path. So, our extra question, our bonus question. What was Sarah carrying with her when she realized that her key was gone? She was walking, but she was also carrying something with her. What was it? We said she was carrying a heavy bag of books and an old umbrella. So, when you're holding something and you're walking, it means that you're carrying that thing with you. So, you can carry it on your back, like a backpack, or you can carry it in your hand, like an umbrella, like a bag, like a suitcase. You can carry all of these in your hand. So, we're done with the first part. Now, we're going to read the 3 questions for the second part of the story. Number 1. What did Sarah discover in the clearing at the end of the path? So, Sarah is going to go through the path and she's going to find a clearing. What is a clearing? When you are somewhere with a lot of trees. If you reach a point where there are no trees, it's just empty, in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the forest. If it's empty, then we call that a clearing. So this part is a clearing in the middle of the woods. So our first question is, what did Sarah discover? Meaning, what did Sarah find in the clearing at the end of the path? Number 2, how did Sarah manage to open the stone door? So, Sarah is going to find a stone door, a door made of stone. So, how did Sarah manage? Meaning, how was she able to? How could she open the stone door? And number 3, what illuminated the tunnel after Sarah entered through the stone door? So she opened the door, she entered a tunnel, but something was illuminating the tunnel. What does it mean, illuminating? It means something was lighting the tunnel, meaning that something was giving light to the tunnel. So what was that thing? Now we'll go through the second part and try to answer the questions at the end. Sarah held her umbrella tight as she followed the narrow path. The rain slowed to a drizzle and the trees grew thicker, blocking out the dim street light. Her shoes squished in the mud, but she didn't care. Her curiosity pulled her forward. After a few minutes, the path stopped at a small clearing. In the middle stood an old stone wall, covered in moss and vines. Sarah frowned. This can't be it, she whispered. But then she saw it, a faint outline of a door carved into the stone. There was no handle, just a tiny keyhole. Her key. She pulled it from her pocket, the note still dangling from it. With shaky hands, she slid the key into the hole. It fit perfectly. She turned it, and with a low rumble, the stone door creaked open. Dust fell from the edges as a cool breeze rushed out. Inside was a tunnel lit by faint glowing lanterns hanging on the walls. Sarah hesitated. This is crazy, she thought, but something told her to keep going. She stepped inside and the door closed behind her with a thud. The tunnel twisted and turned, leading her deeper underground. Finally, it opened into a small room. In the center sat a wooden chest, old and worn, with strange symbols carved on top. Next to it, there was another note. Open me if you dare. Sarah's heart pounded. Should she open the chest? Or was this all a big mistake? So, let's go through the questions. What did Sarah discover in the clearing at the end of the path? What did she find? She found or she discovered an old stone wall. So a wall made of stone. And there was a hidden door inside it. Number 2, how did Sarah manage to open the stone door? So how did Sarah open the stone door? She used her house key, which fit perfectly into the keyhole. So it was perfect. It wasn't big, it wasn't small, it fit perfectly. So, what illuminated the tunnel? When she opened the door and entered a tunnel, something illuminated, meaning gave light to the tunnel. What was it? The tunnel was lit, which is the past tense of light. Light something, I lit something. The tunnel was lit by faint glowing lanterns. So there were lanterns on the wall and they were glowing. They had light. But the light was faint. So it wasn't strong. It wasn't strong light. It was weak light. So our bonus question. When Sarah got to the room at the end of the tunnel, she found 2 objects. What were those 2 objects? First, she found a wooden chest, and next to it, she found a note that said, "Open me if you dare." If you dare means open me if you are brave. Open me if you are strong. If you don't fear. When you dare, it means you are brave. You don't fear. You're not afraid. You're not scared. And now we've reached the last part of the story. Let's read the questions to see what we're going to find out in the third part of the story. Question number 1. What did Sarah discover inside the wooden chest? So, what did she find? What did she discover inside the wooden chest? The chest that was made of wood. So, she opens it and she finds something in it. What is it? 2. What was the special ability of the blue crystal? So, there is a blue crystal. We don't know where she finds it, but there is a blue crystal. And this blue crystal has a special ability, has an ability which is special, which is unique. What is this ability? And number 3, why did Sarah choose to wish for courage instead of material desires? So, we know that Sarah is going to wish for something, is going to make a wish. But she doesn't wish for material things. Material things are like money, car, house, things like that. These are material things. These are worldly things. But she didn't wish for those things. Instead, she wished for courage. She wished for bravery. She wished to be strong. Why did she do that? So, these are our 3 questions. Let's go through the last section of the story. Sarah stared at the wooden chest, her fingers trembling. "Open me if you dare," the note had said. She took a deep breath, knelt down, and lifted the heavy lid. It creaked loudly, echoing in the small room. Inside, she didn't find gold or jewels like she imagined. Instead, there was a single object, a small, glowing blue crystal shaped like a star. As soon as she touched it, the lanterns in the room flickered, and a soft voice filled the air. "Welcome, seeker," it said. Sarah jumped, looking around, but no one was there. The voice continued. "This crystal holds a wish. Speak it wisely, for it can only be used once." A wish? Sarah's mind raced. She could ask for anything. Money, a big house, or even to travel the world. But then she thought about her life. She loved her books, her quiet evenings, and her little home. What did she really want? After a moment, she smiled and held the crystal tight. "I wish for courage," she said, "to face any adventure that comes my way." The crystal glowed brighter, then faded into dust in her hands. A warm feeling spread through her chest, and she felt stronger, braver. Suddenly, the room shook, and the stone door behind her swung open. The tunnel was gone. Now it was just a clear path back to the park. Sarah stepped out. The rain completely stopped. The sky was full of stars. She laughed to herself, clutching her keys, and started walking home. From that day on, Sarah wasn't afraid to try new things. She knew the crystal's magic wasn't just a dream. It had changed her. So, that was our story. Let's see if we can answer the questions for the last part of the story. What did Sarah discover inside the wooden chest? What did she find? Inside the chest, Sarah found a small glowing blue crystal in the shape of a star. What was the special ability of the blue crystal? What did the blue crystal do? The crystal could grant a single wish, one wish. So the crystal could give you, grant means give you, a single wish, just one wish. And our third question, why did Sarah choose to wish for courage instead of material things? Why did she choose to have courage instead of money, a new house, a new car? Because she thought about her life and she realized that she liked her life. She thought about her books. She liked her books. She liked her quiet evenings and her little home. Even though her home wasn't big, she liked it. So she didn't want to change that thing. But she wanted courage. She wanted to be brave to try new things. That's why she wished for courage. So, my fourth question for you is, when you think about this story, do you think that Sarah really needed that wish? Do you think that Sarah needed to have courage? Now, I think she didn't need it. I think she had courage all along. Because when she saw the path, she went through it. When she saw the door, she opened it. She entered the tunnel. She opened the chest. She did all of these because she already had courage. So I think she didn't need it. She was already brave enough. امیدوارم این ویدیو براتون مفید بوده باشه. اگه سوالی دارید حتما توی کامنت ها ازم بپرسید. تا ویدیوی بعد، خدا نگهدار.